When I go and buy NFT, I cannot sue them or hold them responsible if they are not the actual owners.
Welcome to the Contract Teardown Show from Law Insider, where legal experts tear down contracts from some of the most well-known companies and high-profile executives around the world.
In this episode, Soumya Shekhar tears down the Binance NFT marketplace terms and conditions. We talk about the fast-moving legal ecosystem around Web 3.0 and the lawyer's need to protect clients in a vague context. So, let's tear it down. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Contract Teardown Show from Law Insider. I'm Mike Whalen. The purpose in the show is exactly what it sounds like. We take contracts, we beat them up, we are often mean to them, sometimes say nice things, but it's pretty rare. Today, I'm with my friend Soumya Shekhar. She is here to talk to us about NFTs. So this is going to be a totally confusing conversation that nobody understands. Soumya, how are you?
Hi, Mike. I'm fine.
I'm kind of excited about this. I got a message from a friend of mine yesterday, a direct message that said, one day they're going to do The Big Short 2. The Big Short was a movie about the financial crisis in 2008, and it's going to be all about NFTs because none of us know what this is, and it's super sort of exciting and crazy, and everything's changing about NFTs overnight. So we're going to talk about a contract. Let me show you guys what this contract is. It's the Binance NFT marketplace terms and conditions. Soumya, before we start, tell me about this document. Why are we looking at it?
So NFT is a very new concept, and right now a lot of people, it's like a craze amongst people. Everybody wants to own NFTs of baseball cards, of digital art, etc. What I want to do through the teardown of this particular contract is to make people aware that there are certain risks associated with NFTs. So as a user, you need to go through these terms and conditions and understand, what exactly are they and what are you getting into.
Right. Yeah, and I think just to give the very basic what this thing is, I think the baseball card reference was a really good one. I mean, essentially what people are doing, and correct me if I'm wrong, in getting these NFTs is getting digital versions of something that there's a copy of, right? That they're, even if there are multiple copies, they're numbered in some way. There's some way to track through the blockchain, like what issue this is. And so if you know anything about collecting baseball cards or Star Wars toys from the 70s, you got a sense of what this is. It's just the digital version of that. Is that a simplistic but fair description of what we're talking about with NFTs? Yeah. Okay, cool. So tell me, before we get to the document, tell me about you. Why are we talking to you? What's your background? Tell me about your life.
So I run my own virtual legal consultancy called The Remote Lawyer, and I earn my bread and butter through reviewing and drafting contracts. And I am particularly interested in the fintech side right now because it's up and coming and it's very new. So when I was in college, I wasn't studying NFTs. So it's something very different and I wanted to pick my brains over it.
Yeah, it is an exciting time. So let's get over to the document, this Binance marketplace. Before we do, just tell us real quick, what is Binance? What is the relationship between this company and people purchasing NFTs? What is this thing?
So Binance is an NFT marketplace where sellers will come and they would list the NFTs they want to sell, and the users would come and buy them. Similar as Amazon, where people list their goods and people come and buy. So it's like a platform for NFT.
Got it. And so when somebody's on here and they want to buy an NFT, this is like part of a click-through agreement to say, okay, before you do that, you've got to accept our terms and conditions in order to purchase on our platform. Yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So let's get to one. We're on the first page here. I've got a comment here from you about company other URL designated by company from time to time, as well as any mobile apps or other related services or applications there too. What's bothering you about this very early sentence?
Right. So typically when a terms and conditions document is put on the website, now it creates a binding agreement between the user and the company. Now the user should know what services they are accessing. So by writing something as wide and generic as other related services or applications, the user is not knowing what exactly are these other related services or applications. So I'm agreeing to something, but I only know a bit of the services, not the entire thing I'm agreeing to. So that's what something which was bothering me about this initial
God,
bit.
could you imagine like being the drafter for an NFT marketplace where they're like, make sure you include future things, and you, the drafter, are just like, what the heck is that? I have no idea. It's NFTs. Everything's changing week by week. Let's jump down to the next paragraph. It talks about what we may change, or talking about Binance's perspective here. We may change or amend the NFT marketplace or these NFT terms at any time at our sole and absolute discretion. Any changes to these NFT terms will be in effect as of last revised date, referred to at the top of this page. What bugs you about that?
So typically, this is a sentence which you would find in every terms and conditions for a platform, where they would say that they would revise their terms and conditions at any point of time, and the user is supposed to go and review that. The problem here is that they are saying that it will be in effect as of the last revised date, which is referred to at the top of this page. But it is a PDF document without any time or date mentioned at the top of it. So if I am a user, I will only download this and I wouldn't really know when was it updated. And as a user, you don't expect someone to go time and again and keep reviewing the terms. So that was something which I think maybe the drafters could have taken care better.
Hey everybody, I'm Mike Whalen. I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Contract Teardown Show. Real quick, I want to ask you to do me/you really a quick favor. Look down below. You'll see a discount code to join the Law Insider Premium subscription. When you do that, you get access to more content like this. You'll see webinars, daily tips on contract drafting, not to mention access to the world's largest database of sample contracts and clauses. It will help you write better contracts faster. If you want to do it right now, there's a code below, so get there. Also, if you're part of a larger team, if you're in-house or in a law firm, just email us. We're at sales@lawinsider.com. We'll make sure you get a deal as well. Come join us in the community. The code is below. Let's get back to the show. In 2, they go on to talk about what the NFT marketplace is doing. If you jump down to, there's a paragraph that starts for NFT sellers. It says, for the sellers, you represent and warrant that you own all legal right, title, and interest in all intellectual property rights to the NFT media. It's an interesting sentence, given the whole point in NFTs is that, you know, the ownership rights are very clear. What do you think about this sentence?
So firstly, if the NFT seller is the authentic seller or not is something very difficult. Like it's very difficult to determine. Now, the legal catch here is represent and warrant. So if the NFT seller is representing and warranting that they own all legal right, title, and interest, then the platform can bring a case against them in case, like, they are lying about it or they're misrepresenting. But as a user, when I go and buy NFT, I don't have that, like, the NFT is not, the seller is not representing to me. So I cannot sue them or hold them responsible if they are not the actual owners. So that is something which is bothering me here, that it's a representation and warranty to the platform. And the platform doesn't really care much, right? Because they are not the ones who are going to buy or whose money is getting involved here.
And for the buyers, the people who do care, it says when you purchase an NFT, you own the NFT that is associated with certain NFT media, but you do not own any intellectual property rights except for the license grants set forth herein. What do you think about this paragraph? It also talks about different cases, saying that you bear full responsibility for verifying the authenticity, which why have a marketplace? What do you think about this paragraph?
Yeah. So firstly, like, it's like a caveat emptor to the buyer saying that when you're purchasing an NFT, you are only owning the NFT and not the copyright to it. But at the same time, if I have an NFT and, for example, if I'm using it. So for example, if I have a website, now I want to use a particular NFT art on that website. I use it and tomorrow the original owner comes and sues me saying that, okay, you are violating my copyright. I don't have any means of verifying whether the person from whom I bought this NFT was the actual owner or not.
Right.
So I'm kind of exposing myself to legal claims. And at the same time, I don't even have a way of knowing whether the person is authentic or not. And the platform doesn't take any responsibility.
That's so interesting because like the whole purpose in an NFT is that you know the ownership rights, right? Like that is the whole thing through the blockchain, is that you understand who owns what, and what you are literally purchasing is, hey, I've got the one, I've got ownership rights to the thing. So it's funny that the marketplace is basically saying, hey, that thing that you're actually buying, it's not the digital picture, it's these rights. We don't do anything with the rights. It's a really interesting sort of messed up way to phrase that. So
the thing is that the public ledger, when it traces back to the owner, you don't know whether the first person is the actual owner or someone who's just taken a tweet or any art from anywhere else. So that's the entire problem there.
Yeah, let's jump down to, there's a paragraph that starts with, if you sell an NFT, it talks about you're granting the buyer and non-exclusive, non-transferable, royalty-free license to use, copy, etc. What's bugging you about this sentence?
So two things. First is the usage of the language non-transferable. It says it's a non-transferable license. But if you go down, you would see that there's a sentence which says, if you sell or transfer the NFT to another person, this NFT purchase license will transfer to such other owner. So it's kind of contradictory here that it says it's a non-transferable license, and still they're talking about selling or transferring. So that's one thing. The other thing is they are saying non-transferable royalty-free license to use. Now, use is a very wide term. What do they mean by use? Is it personal use? Is it commercial use? So I think those things should be more qualified while drafting terms and conditions.
Moving on to the next page, we've got down a sentence that starts, we have the right to remove or refuse to post any of your content, including NFTs, for any or no reason in our sole discretion. A lot of power to the marketplace. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. The reason why I was not in consonance with this language, because for no reason, if they are removing someone's content, not even intimating or informing them, I think it's a bit unreasonable and unfair. So, yeah.
And then jumping down, it talks about the specific terms under 4 for the premium platform and creators. There's well, tell me real quick, what is this? What is this premium platform? It sounds like there's like another level that you get invited to. Is that right?
Yeah, so there are certain creators or sellers whom they would invite on the platform. These creators would create or mint NFT, as it's popularly called, on the marketplace itself.
Got it.
The catch here is that the license to this NFT created would be perpetually, irrevocably and exclusively be assigned to the marketplace. Then the marketplace can use it in any way they want. So that is the catch, which I'm not sure if a lot of creators who are invited would bother to go through the terms to understand.
Yeah, that's in that next paragraph that starts invited creator. And I'm pretty sure the people who are creating on this thing, to your point, are probably not reading this. We're now into page 5 or whatever. And these are special clauses that it seems like you could just do a click through at the time that they get invited with, hey, these are the new rights that this is creating. Well, let's jump down to 5 and the the copyright policy. It says the company may but is not obligated to monitor the NFTs, etc. The company, however, cannot undertake to review all such content before it is posted. Again, this seems like really trying to push off any responsibility on the marketplace, which to me is the only function that the marketplace is serving. What do you think about that? What do you think about 5?
Yeah, exactly. The thing here is that the company is not taking any responsibility to monitor the NFTs or check whether the person who's selling the NFT owns the copyright or not. They're not even going to remove the objectionable content. So therefore, if there's no liability of the platform per se, then what is the use of a platform? Then why wouldn't a user and a seller just directly connect to each other? So although from a lawyer, if I were the lawyer of the platform, I would have put these things in. But from a user's perspective, this seems a little unfair.
Yeah, speaking of unfair, I'm jumping down to the paragraph that starts, we have no liability to you or any third party, etc. It says, we do not provide refunds, anything, for any purchases that you might make on or through the NFT marketplace, whether for NFTs or anything else. It's an interesting sentence because, like, if you buy a thing from them, the rights are all jacked up. If the rights are jacked up, you literally have nothing to return. So you, as the purchaser, have taken all those risks. What do you think about that sentence? This seems, again, really strongly one-sided.
So typically, an NFT is bought through cryptocurrencies. Now, it's very difficult to trace once it's in the system where the money is. So therefore, they wouldn't be providing refunds. But at the same time, they're also not assuming any liability for assessing authenticity or for any other thing. So if tomorrow, I buy a NFT and I later on realize I was tricked, so then I cannot really do anything about it. I won't get my money back. No one's going to take it back. I don't even have a proper contract with the seller. There's a smart contract available as a link, but not many commoners know how to read smart contracts. I would myself not know how to read code. So yeah.
Yeah, gosh. Such an interesting, and as we get to sort of big picture principles, one thing that really stands out to me is like, what's the marketplace doing, right? What's the good that they're providing when the behind all of this good is the exclusivity, right? It's the I've got the one, and they're consistently saying, man, we're not telling you you've got the one. But in that, thinking about a drafting exercise, when you as a lawyer are drafting in such a fast-moving, weirdo environment that the rules are just changing week by week, I almost feel like you just write one page that's like, we'll be nice to you, you'd be nice to us, we're figuring stuff out as we go. This seems like a really hard exercise. What do you think is the big picture takeaway from writing a document like this?
I think, see, if I were a lawyer representing the platform, my main focus would be to protect their interests. And that's what the Binance platform is doing, right? It's protecting its own interests. But at the same time, it should be drafted in such a way that the user doesn't feel that, okay, I am getting nothing out of it. So that's exactly the kind of balance I think as a lawyer one should strike when drafting such documents.
Yeah, and I feel like this doesn't do it. Well, it's a weird future. We've got all these, what the heck is an NFT anyway? I'm going to go back to baseball cards. You remember the gum? Okay, you may not remember this. Remember the gum that was in the baseball card packs? It was like this hard, awful, but I mean, it was yours, and so you loved it. So I'm going to go back to the days when we had baseball cards and gum. For people who want to reach out to you, Soumya, and learn about what you do, what's the best way to contact you?
People can contact me on LinkedIn or through my website, that is remotelawyer.in.
Well, we'll have links to all that in the post at lawinsider.com/resources, as well as if you would like to, come join us and hang out on the Contract Teardown Show, just email us. We are at community@lawinsider.com, and we will see you guys on the next episode of the Contract Teardown. Thanks, Soumya. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mike.